Hi everybody, so welcome to my channel, Sharon's Nail Art and More. So with this set, you just see me going in and shaping the tips. This is a total redesign, soaked off the previous set and am starting from scratch. So she wanted a Chameleon temperature changing gel, and that is the design that we went with today with some Mickey&Minney water decals. So in this frame, I'm just shaping the tips and getting them to the coffin, the exact coffin that she wants, and making sure that the sides are tapered. And in a little bit, I will be kind of blending the tip, seeing how it doesn't really need a lot of blending because it's a quarter well tip. I just do a little bit just so I have that extra blended tip. I really don't have to worry about the bulk of the acrylic too much. So here I'm just making sure that the thumbs are the exact size, same size. I always, I'm kind of a perfectionist. I'm guilty of that. I usually will go over things 3 and 4 times, just looking over the nails and making sure that they're exactly to the quality that I like to have them at. I want to make sure that my clients are happy and they get what they pay for. And so I'm just blending the tips in these shots here, making sure to be very easy when I go over the nail. This is a more coarse grit. This is, I believe, a 120. You can use a 180. I just feel like this helps blend it a little faster, but you have to be extra careful not to go on the nail plate itself, just on the tip. If you don't know what you're doing, I suggest not even attempting with a coarser grit file. So I'm just finishing doing that. And so in this, I'm adding my OPI Bond Aid. As you can see here, I actually had a little accident in spilling some of my primer liquid, or yeah, I believe my primer liquid. So I really would like to get some acid bonder just to try that out for my clients that have some issues with lifting. Not too much, not too many of my clients do. It's just some people with smaller nail beds have some issues with lifting. So in this frame, I'm just adding the primer, and the primer I'm using today is the Mia Secret acid-free no burn primer. So I add 2 coats. I do the 1 coat, and I'm just demonstrating to my client that if you have a lot on your brush, you can dab it out on the paper, because you don't want to burn your client's skin. And a lot of times, a lot of salons just like to rush through everything, and that's not how it's properly done. You need to take care with your clients so that you don't hurt them. And so I always do my 2nd coat of primer right before I add the acrylic. And in the shot coming up, you'll see me doing that. I'll add the primer right before acrylic application. I think I actually already did it on the pinky, but you will see me right before each finger add the primer right before the acrylic. And so you want to try and get your acrylic as close to the cuticle as you can without getting it on the skin. If you happen to get any gel or acrylic on the skin, you want to try and remove it as soon as possible while it's still wet. If, for example, you don't get to it in time and you realize it after everything's dried and you're beginning to file, you want to take a hand file and maybe get as much off as you can with your nail. If you can't do that, then you need to take a very, very gentle grit file about a 180 grit and try and remove it and file it down with that. That's what I would suggest, because any acrylic on the skin is going to cause lifting. Any gel on the skin is going to cause lifting. Anything that's not on the nail and is attached to the nail still is going to cause lifting. So just be mindful of that when you're doing people's nails. You want to make sure that you have your sidewalls tapered with whatever shape you're doing, whether it's square, stiletto, or coffin, or almond, or whatever your shape is called. You want to make sure that the sides are tapered in and that a majority of your bulk is through the center of the nail and not so much the sides. And here I'm just going in with that extra safety bead right at where you would get breakage. So that's your stress point area, and that's right below the cuticle, right where your nail bed almost meets the end of the finger. And just completing this hand, and I've moved on to the thumb. I've taken a lot of the video out because it, you know, if I left the whole thing in, it would be about an hour and a half of video. So obviously I've done the other nails and I've moved on to the thumb. And I grabbed a pretty large size bead to pat out from side to side as close to the cuticle as I can, and then drag it down with my brush once I have it into the exact place I want it without touching the skin. And it is so muggy where I live in Connecticut right now. It's just so humid. You know, acrylic is really not your friend with the humidity, so you have to try and work as quick as possible. I would suggest practicing on a practice hand before you get comfortable enough with clients, because like I said, the heat it just does not go well with acrylic. So I'm just taking a medium-sized bead, patting it out from side to side, and completing I'm almost done with the nail here. I'm just adding a bead to the bottom, blending it up, and dragging it down until I feel that it has the perfect consistency, the perfect shape. And if I need to, I will add some more at the bottom. Like I'm doing here, there was an area that needed some more acrylic. I blend that up, and then I drag it down and pat it. Sometimes you can get away with dragging your acrylic. Sometimes you just need to pat it into an area that is missing that bulk. So I've moved on to her right hand, and I've switched to my number 10 Alpha brush. In the other frame, I was using my number 10 brush from AliExpress, and I ordered it from a company called Boan, B-O-A-N. And their brushes actually are smaller, kind of similar to CJP brushes, which are really good. These larger alpha brushes are really good for encapsulating, are good for thumbs, or if you know what you're doing with a bigger size brush, which I feel comfortable enough using. If you're not comfortable with a larger size brush, I suggest sticking to the smaller ovals. And Boan is a really great quality Kolinsky brush. This brush is from Didi Hernandez. She custom makes aquarium brushes. I love this brush. It's one of my favorites. It's my first one I ever bought from her, and it's the Dreamcatcher design. My second one from her is a number 8 Alpha Oval, and I had that done in the Alice in Wonderland theme. So thank you, Didi. I'm still using my brushes. I love them. And here I'm just going in with another bead at the free edge and patting that out from side to side, and then I will drag down and blend up, and I will add another bead near the cuticle at the stress point, I believe. And so I'm working on the ring finger now. And I'm letting my acrylic form the right consistency with the liquid. And I start at the base, just trying something out to see if it is better to apply your bead at the bottom first and then the top. Sometimes I like to just try different methods as I'm working. Honestly, excuse me, I really just feel like it goes based on your skills and where they're at, and whether you can manage certain areas first rather than others. I feel like adding a bead at the bottom and then the top a lot of times helps people who have a hard time getting their shape the way it needs to be. That's good for beginners. I feel like starting at the cuticle and then doing the bottom and then a stress bead, I think that that is easier for people that have been doing it a little bit longer, just because it takes a little bit more blending to do it that way. Whereas this application process, you really only have to worry about kind of dragging downwards. The other one you have to, you know, blend upwards, downwards, the whole nine. So I just like to try different things. I definitely want to start getting more into using gel products. I'm just not sure exactly which ones are better than others, and but I definitely want to start getting more into that. Gel just tends to be a lot easier than acrylic. This was a pretty easy set because I didn't have to use colored acrylics at all. I definitely gave my client the option because she wanted a purple design. And so I just told her, you know, with the clear acrylic, you know, all you have to worry about is basically when you get a fill, you know, you file down the back edge near the cuticle and fill it in. But with colored acrylic, a lot of times you just have to file all the way down to your safety clear layer and redo the whole design. So obviously it's going to take longer. So really I left it up to her, and she chose to do the clear with the purple gel polish. So that's what we did. We did the temperature changing purple gel polish, and it came out so pretty with the Mickey&Minney decals because she loves Mickey. We also applied on the ring and the pointer finger Born Pretty holo chameleon flakes. So it was like a purplish color, but it had the holo flakes in it as well. It's really pretty. It's hard to describe. It's like the holo flakes, but it has the chameleon colors throughout. So it's really weird. It was almost like they added the two. And those things you got to be careful, like if you have a fan on or anything, because they do try to blow all over the place. And I do apologize for the length of this video. I know it is a little bit long. I try to take out as much as I possibly can, but I know anybody that loves watching nail videos is gonna appreciate the process. And so I'm just applying the bead to the cuticle area. Since it's the pinky, it's a little bit easier to get away with, you know, a one ball if that's what you're going for. I wasn't comfortable with that bead, so I took it right off. I didn't want it to be overly thick, so while I still had the opportunity, I took it off. So I go on with my new bead. And this one's definitely a lot better, so I pat it out to the left, then I pat it out to the right. Make sure there's nothing in my sidewalls. And then I just pat it down as far as I can take it. Clean my brush, go in the sidewalls, and clean them if I have to, which I obviously did. Excuse my hair in the shot. I actually set up my camera different this time. I have it kind of facing the side so you can see as much of what I'm doing as you possibly can. And so I'm adding some to the tip here. I only need a little bit, so I make sure my sides are taken in. Take any excess off. And I'm just adding another tiny bead to the stress point and just dragging that down. It didn't need too much, so and here I've already gone in with my tapered carbide drill bit, which I got from AliExpress. Sophie's Bespoke Nails also uses it, and that's where I got the idea to purchase. It really gets back in that harder to reach area near the cuticle and gets it as thin as it possibly can. And then I go in with this drill bit, which is my ceramic safety medium grit drill bit, and it's from Todak USA. I really prefer to work with medium grit drill bits just because no matter what type of work you're doing, it seems to get the job done quickly. And so I'm just finishing up here. I want to make sure I get all my edges, anything I miss with my other drill bit, which wasn't too much, and then I go over the whole nail. I'm actually going to be getting a new drill very soon, in a couple weeks. I got the idea from Liz's Acrylic Nails, the machine that she reviewed a couple months back, or a few months back, the one with the dust collector, drill, and lamp all in one. It costs, for US dollars, it's almost $270. So I'm hoping to have that in a few weeks, and I know that's going to help a lot because this drill here, although it's good, still it has some vibration, which I'm not a fan of, and I don't like the way it kind of startles my clients when it does happen. So I will be moving on to a bigger and better system with the drill, and I'm also looking to move from Mia Secret to maybe Fantasy Nails because I just love, I've seen a lot of videos, and I can't order CJP because they're not delivering international right now, so I will be ordering Fantasy Nails, and I just love the consistency of their product, the way it spreads on the nail like butter, and Mia Secret, excuse me, although they're very, very good, it tends to dry faster, which is fine. I feel comfortable enough to use it. I would like a little bit more time to play with things if I have to. And so I'm just going through the sidewalls, and just pulling the skin a little bit if I have to, and making sure I get tight into them sidewalls without hurting my client. You want to be as gentle as possible. And because at this part, when you're doing the sidewalls, if you get too close to their skin while you're filing, you can cut them. And that's not something you want to do, believe me. You want your clients to come back. You don't want them to say, oh, hell no, I ain't coming back to her because she cut me the last time. You know? So, definitely want to refrain from hurting your clients. And I really don't get, I get as close as I can to her cuticle in that back part without cutting her skin. And so I'm just finishing up hand filing, smoothing out that surface from my drill bit, which helps bring down the bulk and helps give you your shape, but you need to go over it with a hand file and buffer to get any of those scrapes or scratches or any of that off. And the buffer is going to help remove any of the scratches from the hand file. And ladies, if you have any questions about, you know, for any of my new subbies, if you guys are beginners, I've been doing nails now for over a year. I feel pretty comfortable in giving certain advice. I am not a licensed tech. I am self-taught. Where I live in Connecticut, they actually don't have a school at the moment for acrylic and gel, just like hair and makeup. But you don't have to be licensed where I live. So I'm just cleaning each nail with a alcohol pad to get any of the remaining dust and just to clean the nail surface. So now I'm just buffing over where I hand filed. If I see that I need to do a little, you know, work on the sides, maybe some areas that I missed. Excuse the noise in the background, it's outside. But if I missed any areas with the hand file, I will go in and fix it. But for the most part, I'm just buffing over where I hand filed and then cleaning up with this new brush that I got from Dollar Tree, which I've seen a lot of people actually use brushes like this. So I wanted to try it out. And it actually works a lot better than my other one. I like it. And so I'm just pretty much prepping and moving on to the next state, which is putting a base coat down. And this is a new one that I actually purchased. The one I was using before was from Sally's, which I still use. I like it better for toes, but that one is actually just called Base Seal. And I'm not sure of the company that makes it, but it is from Sally's. Oh, the company is Nail Bliss. So that was the original one I was using, but the one in the video here that I used is from True Blue Spa, and it's called Seal the Deal. And it's a base coat, top coat, and nail strengthener. Obviously, I don't use that for my top coat. I am just using it for a base coat before I apply her Chameleon gel polish. So I wanted to add this, so just in case there was any issues with the gel polish coming off. Hang on, buddy.
Oh, where's the scissors?
Right there.
Okay. Where?
Right there on my desk. My nail desk.
Right here?
Right here.
It's hard to look. Because I have all those shirts are long sleeve and I found one, but I need to cut it.
So I let the base coat dry a little bit before I apply the gel polish. Okay, so now I'm just going in with Elitte 99. And this is the Purple Chameleon temperature changing gel polish. I don't believe it has a color name. It just has a number. And the number, it's actually a 3 color changing one. And the number on it is 4208. And it's Elitte 99 Chameleon. And this is UV and LED gel polish. So it's perfect for those of you that maybe don't have, you know, the lamp that does both, because I have a lamp that's UV and LED, 36 watt. I got it off of AliExpress and I only paid like $18 for it. It's really, really good. It's from the Sun UV LED line lamps, and it's their diamond kind of shaped one. Although I will be ordering a different Sun UV LED one with the digital display on the top. That's another thing I'm going to be getting new. So here I'm just finishing up with the color. And that's it, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. And until my next one, please like and subscribe and share if you'd like. I really, really love this set. I really love how it came out with the Mickey and Minnie decals. Bye, guys.